roll 'em. According to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Town of Sutton, pursuant to Chapter 30A, you're hereby notified this meeting is being taped live and will be kept for posterity throughout the rest of our days. Sutton Board of Health. First item is we open the meeting. Local upgrades and variances, we have none. Local upgrade approved, review only. This is what you gave me on the way up?
Yes.
All right, 28 Colonial and 46 Torrey. Do we need to look at that, or has she?
Margaret's already approved those, but you have requested that you review
Yeah, we just see
those.
what she did, so we're just looking to see what she approved.
Okay. Let me take the first one first. 28 Colonial.
Waiver requested, distance to existing private well on the property, required 183 granted, depth to groundwater 4, she went for a 3 to 4 and offset the well on this one. That should be on there too, right?
It's just Judy's note to file.
Oh, okay. There's nothing out of the ordinary with that?
No.
Okay. Do you wanna make a motion? Do we have to? No.
No,
we
no.
don't do that.
No.
Okay. "26 Torrey Road."
46.
Taken.
Stick something on the page.
Distance to existing private well, they required 100, provided 60. We've never had a problem with that. Good. Sorry about that.
Are you making all that noise?
Yeah. Got an update?
Do you want to skip to them?
I'll do like a cover update. A lot of activity since our last meeting. First of all, I'll do the most important thing, since we just talked about the Triple E. I've been working with the communications department and the cable department. We've been putting on updates on a daily basis. Everybody's aware that, I'm sure that our risk is high and that we were sprayed last night. So we have maps going up of showing all the areas that were done. So the entire town of Sutton was sprayed last night. And this is just the map of the different areas, and this is just all this area right here. So we've been fielding a lot of phone calls, doing a lot of education, a lot of reassurance. We've got a lot of resources on the website. And last Wednesday evening, I did a code red. There was an on-call that had gone out, just talking about what was going on. We had a lot of meetings, conference calls with the state and the Department of Agriculture and things like that. So that's kept us busy all last week and the beginning of this week. And so hopefully, with all the information that's out there, people are at least know what's going on, taking the precautions, and with the town and school being more or less shut down from 6 p.m. till 8 a.m. I know that a lot of sports had to reschedule their activities and things like that, but it's part of the process just to reduce the risk, of exposure to the mosquitoes.
Is there any sort of end to that, or is it,
There is an end. It's called first hat frost.
oh, is that what it, really?
That's what it is, yeah,
So,
Kill 'em.
yeah.
okay.
So, unfortunately,
So we're praying for frost.
No, no, we're not.
anyways, so that's it. I've got a lot of information out. We've got a lot of things on our website. Also, we've gone to a lot of businesses. I put a lot of stuff out at school, senior center, just postings on trying to be aware of, just to reduce the risk of triple E. There was a case of a young guy in Grafton, and there's been some horses that have been put down in Uxbridge, Mendon, and possibly a few other towns.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
what else? September 10th, there was an open house for the new dialysis center that's down in Galaxy Pass. We're all invited if you'd like to go. It's from 5:30 to 7:30. It's in 2 weeks. And
What's the date on it?
September 10th. So we can, I'll just leave these here. You don't need anything, but you can just, it's open to the town employees, things like that. And I do believe they're gonna be opening probably the end of the month after that.
And what's the time on that again?
5:30 to 7:30.
Is that DeVito or Fresenius?
That is for seniors,
Hmm.
and it's called Oxford Dialysis.
I'm sorry, the time again?
5:30 to 7:30.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. I'm just gonna pass this around, because I know we don't have a full board tonight. I don't know if you wanna look at this and read this. This is, about, the Greater MRC, the Greater Grafton MRC, which the town of Sutton is a member of. And, so the Greater Grafton MRC is requesting that our Board of Health, which we are a member of the Greater Grafton MRC, take a formal vote at a meeting indicating its wishes to remain a part of the Greater Grafton MRC. And, so, I don't know if you want to take a vote on it now, or you wanna wait till a full panel.
What, has it benefited, us, or do you, I don't really know that much about it.
Yeah, the MRC provides a lot of training and resources, in the event of an emergency. You could sign up as a member to become part of Grafton. Worcester has an MRC. I personally am involved with both MRCs, so, it doesn't.
And we've been members all along?
We've been a member of this, of the Greater Grafton, because we had to sign up for one of them at one time, and it was easier and regionally, geographically, located. So, you know, we can look at this, because after that, they wanted a copy of the minutes and forwarded them over to them.
Okay.
So, I can pass this and you can look at it, or you wanna vote on it, it's up to you.
I don't see any reason why we shouldn't just stay with it.
I mean, do you have any input on it, or?
I don't.
Does it cost us anything to be part of it,
No,
or?
it doesn't. The Greater Grafton Medical Reserve Corps, it's a nationally recognized unit, and you have to go through a process to be recognized at the federal level. Excuse me. Worcester is one, and there's one in northern Worcester County.
I think it's just.
They do a lot of training, so a lot of it's free,
Yeah.
but in the event of emergency, if you could help, they'd appreciate it.
You wanna vote on it? I'd just as soon
Yeah.
vote on it and get one thing out of the way.
Okay.
Make a
You want this
motion
to,
Yeah, we could.
to make a motion with?
So make a motion to, stay or renew our
Remain.
membership, remain a
Member.
member of the Greater Grafton MRC.
Second.
Anybody opposed? No? Okay, so moved.
Thank you. Just last week, I had gone to my training for my vaccine reimbursement program. Flu season's around the corner. I was notified last week or so that, the flu vaccine that we privately purchased is running like 3 to 4 weeks behind schedule. But they are sending out just very small allotments of doses. And I'm expecting 30 doses by the end of September, which I usually have my full allotment by then and running my clinics by then. So that's just something running a little bit behind.
Do you have a plan of like who the most neediest people would
Yeah, I
be, like
do.
the elderly?
I
or-
do. I was thinking of doing the senior center.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed in the past couple of years is our participants have been dwindling down quite a bit in the senior center because they've been getting it at their doctor's office, like, early, very
Yeah.
early. But that was my first line of
Okay.
what I was gonna do. Also, I know this has been a subject that we've talked about for forever, and I haven't really, it hasn't really gone anywhere, is Carrier Lane, with, the individual, and, I've been trying to call the, bless you.
Bless you. Is that the one where they had it designed and never did it?
Correct. And I've called Bill Porter, cause Bill was supposed to do some sort of digging and was supposed to have some sort of retaining wall before the system got in, whatever, but nothing's happened. I can't reach Bill Porter at all. I've tried his cell phone, personal cell, his business office, no answer. So I can't get a hold of him. And I've gotten no response from the homeowner, so I think it's time we should move forward. It's been like a long time.
Yeah.
The system's been in failure, they're near the water.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
So, I mean, we've been very generous with them.
Yeah,
So
they have breakout, I mean, theirs is.
I thought they had breakout, didn't they?
Yeah.
Cause I think, Jim had seen it from the neighbor's, yard. So,
What is the next step?
some sort of enforcement.
Yeah. I mean, we gave them, we never really restricted, what did we tell them we had to get something designed and the process moving within a certain amount of time,
Right.
correct?
Right. We can follow up with John Silverberg, 'cause I know he was all over it, he was very involved with that right from the beginning.
Would we, do we have any sort of power to do, you know, I mean, what's the alternative to,
Yeah, you can kick them out, you
Kick
can,
'em out.
you
Can
can
we do
shut the
that?
property down, yeah.
all right, then let's,
I mean, if you've got a system in failure, and all they're doing is just adding to that failure.
It's
well,
an
Well, I
eminent
think-
health, eminent health hazard.
It is an eminent health hazard.
no, I think we need to act on it then, as if it was. And, as I say, we've been more than generous with the amount of time, and we're not getting that reciprocated, so, maybe that would kinda wake people up. But, you know,
What kind of timeframe do you wanna give, do you want me to send a certified letter?
yeah,
That you're
Didn't we
gonna
already?
condemn the house? Not condemning the house.
We want the system put in this year during install season.
look, we already asked them.
It needs to be in before December 1.
So in by December 1, or you will condemn the house?
Yeah.
That basically gives him enough time now.
I do believe he has an approved plan. It's just what I was told, something about a
Retaining wall.
excavation and a retaining wall before the system can go in. Where the retaining wall is, I don't know.
Maybe it just needs to push to actually start getting it done.
Yeah. But, I will tell you, I had been in contact with, Bill Porter, who was supposed to do some sort of excavation work, and he was very much, being very proactive on it. But again, now I can't reach Bill, so I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. Following up on the Beehive across the street, I've been in touch with the Attorney General's office, and, we're moving forward with that. The owner, Circle K, I believe, or the Realtor, is going to be getting back to the Attorney General, who will be getting back to us, because we've given them an extension upon an extension, and we want some sort of action on that property, because now they put on a brown top over the blue top that faded and ripped. The brown top is now ripped we were actually in the building, and, it's pretty much, non-salvageable at this point.
The building?
Yeah.
Is that the one on the corner?
Right here in the corner.
Yeah, okay.
So, they're supposed to come back with their plans, cause they were concerned about a well, but,
There's no historical thing with that, is there?
there was, but it's beyond repair at this point.
Okay.
I know when we had gone through back in March with the Attorney General's office, myself and John Kuchar, the people that were representing the owners, they were talking about just demolishing it and knocking it down. But, it's difficult because that and the gas station is all one parcel,
Owned by the same person?
so, that's it. And the well is located in front of the building, and there's some sort of components down in the cellar. So,
Okay.
but again, that's more news to come. Jim's been aware of it because there's been a lot of complaints about the property and the disrepair that it's been in and things like that. So, we'll see where that takes us.
Okay.
All right?
And if you said that the owners were willing to take it down, that they just.
Well, that was the maintenance people representing the owners, and they were talking about just, they realized it was beyond repair also.
Are the owners local?
No, it's Getty Oil.
Okay.
So, now they're gonna come back to us with a proposal, so we'll see what the proposal is. But other than that, we'll probably go into receivership, because that's what we're looking for, to push it through, if they don't do any action,
Okay.
as an abandoned housing initiative. Couple weeks, I'm going to a conference down in Plymouth, I'll be there for a couple days, and, we'll go from there. I'm gonna have Ray come out. Oh, yeah. Ray is gonna come out, our, food inspector, because there is a new food code out, and he wants the town to adopt it. So, I want him to come and explain it to the board, and he's gonna gradually put it into place.
Do we have to approve it going into place,
No,
or is it, okay?
But we just, it's something that he wants to do because there are new requirements,
I
and.
think they do have to adopt the new food code.
They do?
Yeah.
Could
You
we
can just
get
vote
that
on it.
ahead of time, just to take a look at it before he comes?
He can just tell you the differences, it'd be much
Okay.
easier for him, because other than that, this is the food code,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay.
I can send it to the link if you wanna peruse it.
If you have nothing else to read.
Yeah, I was gonna go to Nantucket, but I'll stay home and read that instead.
And lastly, I got back on food, about a couple of weeks ago, I got called out to a fire at Market 32 on a Sunday afternoon. One of their ovens that were roasting the chickens in had caught fire. There was a new manager there, her name is Arel, I believe, and she was very good. She knew exactly what to do. They pulled the alarm, they had their fire extinguisher, and they put it out. The fire department came down, they stayed on scene until I got there, which was several hours later, because I was out of town. But they did a great job, the employees at the marketplace, Market 32.
Is there a contingency plan if you're not around?
Someone said I gotta
calling, yeah.
I would
everybody-
say,
was
it's
calling
anybody
them.
on the board who they can call. We have a 24/7 call down list.
I think they called my home phone and not the cell. I mean, I heard about it
Then
days
Judy-
later.
Yeah, Judy's
They
texting
probably
me for
did.
your phone number,
But,
I didn't have your cell.
you know,
Alright.
I looked on
I
it,
left
was your
my
email.
phone in my car because I needed some time to myself, so when I got back, it was a couple of hours. They were fine. They were good.
Alright.
Remember,
Maybe we can make sure that we have an updated phone list so you don't, cause I was probably doing nothing.
Yeah, they're.
You're probably
Oh,
waiting in
I'd love
line
to
for
go
the
down
chicken.
there. I would've tested the chicken to make sure it was still okay.
They do have a 24/7 call down list, and I do
Okay.
have it, and the police department has it also.
Okay,
But they just usually tend to call me because I'm always around,
yeah, exactly.
so.
Alright,
And other than that, that's been about it.
Sounds pretty busy.
Yeah,
Do we have minutes or no?
unfortunately.
I was away last.
Okay, oh, that's right.
Lastly, I just wanted to talk about, I'm sure everybody's heard, or they will hear, that our engineer, Margaret Bacon, is resigning, has resigned, and be looking for a replacement sooner than later.
All right, and we have candidates that we can look through. Should we do that at a separate, like, executive meeting, or?
You can. That'd be the best thing.
Yeah.
But just to let you know, didn't know when you wanted to proceed, 'cause she'd like to bow out before the season closes, so she can get who's ever replacing her up to speed, and so they don't have a lot of downtime during the winter months also. So she's being thoughtful of the person that's replacing her.
I would say as soon as possible, so someone else is willing to be able to, if, you know,
Yeah,
and
can
the
we bring,
candidates.
can we bring somebody in and talk to them, or?
Yeah, if you want, maybe we can look at the old applicants that we've had and call them back. Was that
Sure.
something that you'd wanna do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then maybe a couple of you can sit and meet and go from there?
Okay,
Okay.
we'll see if we can get those conversations before the next meeting.
Yeah,
and
I'm
that way
thinking
we'll have
maybe
something
maybe
to-
after the holiday, I mean, after a week or so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
And then we'll see who's interested. Can only be two of you because three will constitute a quorum. But,
Okay.
yeah,
Well, you can have an interview during executive session,
Yeah,
unless you wanna post it. It's up to you.
or do you wanna post?
no, we know they, we
Why
know
don't you
that
wait to see
kind of time.
who's even available?
Right.
I mean, we already posted, we have a list, we'll see if, the people on the list that, are still willing to do it, and if
Mhm.
someone on that list decides yes, then, and we agree to it, then that would be the way to go, I think.
Okay, we can start there anyway.
Okay.
It'll save us from any more advertising or whatever.
All right,
Okay?
we'll get on that after the first, after,
Yeah, right after the next month, right after the holiday next week.
Did you want to invite people to come to the next meeting for an interview, or what do you
Do you wanna
want?
do it before
I-
Or do you wanna interview
Yeah, well,
them
I would-
privately?
yeah, I think privately, and,
Individually?
yeah, I think we can do that, and,
See who's
I think
there
that was
and then
done
let
like
us
the
know.
last time.
it'll probably determine.
You can send us a group email on who's interested, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Okay.
I mean, the list wasn't that long to begin with, so.
Right. I think that's it. That's all I've done. Thank you for your
Okay,
time.
do we do
Thank you.
old business, new business?
We can
Could
go
we-
down because there's not much to do, so we can,
Can we take care of this, gentlemen?
um,
Where are we on that?
you know what, we can just go down real quickly. We can do old business, new business, only because we're not doing fees. Those are on the back
Right.
burner. Well
Did that
regs.
spreadsheet help at all? Did
I
I?
didn't look at it.
Okay.
Yeah, I looked
Well,
at it, I
Margaret
would just take
resigned,
it.
and I kind of didn't know.
Did you have the copy about all the other stuff? Because, I mean, some of the wording was different, like they called different things.
Yeah, I
But-
was
and
just
I
going
think you
through
would-
and scratching down like fees next to ours,
Yeah.
like by hand, and then you would send that through, and I
Okay.
started to look at it, I was like, oh, that makes sense, but I was already kinda, so
Yeah, feel free to edit that. And
I was gonna
think-
run home last night and finish it, cause I told her, she's like, oh, no, we're not gonna go over that, so I was like,
Yeah.
alright, good, I don't have to
Okay.
hurry through it.
Same thing with the well regs,
Right.
we've pushed those off. And the same thing with the Title V supplemental,
Yeah,
that's
we have
all
to
gonna
wait
be
till-
pushed off.
Find some that
So
wants to
now
get
we're
you.
at other business not anticipated, and, we have a gentleman here who, other business not anticipated,
Okay,
so.
thank you for your patience. What do we got?
I learned something.
You just wanna state your name and what you're here for? Just state your name and what you're here
Oh,
for.
yeah, Steve Colorio, and I'm here for Title V. I've been here before for the Title V.
Yep.
And, I'm back again because I really didn't understand the first one, okay? Chinese to me. But I had a family living in the house for a year while the design was being made. I already have a septic, a new design. I was gonna put the system in. When I bought the house, it was failed from the bank, had someone do a Title V and he failed it because the tank was too small. 750 gallon tank, supposed to be 1,500 for a 3-bedroom. So, but they lived there for a year and there was no issues. So, as I'm waiting for all this work to get done, it finally gets done, someone comes down and gives me a price, and, he said, I don't think this system is failed. And I said, can we do another Title V? He says, if you want to. I said, I think you can. He says, I've never done a second Title V. That was John Cutler. Right? So he did the second Title V, and it passed. And we had the town engineer, whoever it was, I guess the guy passed away since then. We had the hole open, he came down, he looked at it. We closed it up, it was all set, sent it into the town, and, but there was no issues with these people living there, which made it kinda curious of why we needed a new septic. That's why I had it checked.
How old is the system?
Uncle Burke designed it, put it in,
Is that what
I think
this
it was
this stuff
60s,
is
right?
up here, right?
Yeah.
Back in the 60s. Well, actually, I think it could have been later than that. Because that was the second one that was mine.
Oh, he didn't fail it for the tank, he failed it because it was in groundwater too.
Right. He said, okay, so he filled it for the groundwater, but he guessed at the groundwater. He went by the neighbor's groundwater, which was 10 feet.
Yeah.
And that whole area is nothing but bank groundwater. You know, that's DeFalco's pits, that's what it is. You know, if you walk back 200 feet, and you look down, there's 70 feet of gravel that they've been digging out over the years. And you can see the lines all the way through.
Yeah, this is the
And
one
I
we.
just- it's great drainage area. I just didn't understand why, in its working system.
This is the one that they logged groundwater at 48 inches. So we told you that the system failed because it was in the groundwater, because you had new testing showing soil modeling at 48 inches. And the soil was so wet, they had to do a sieve analysis, they couldn't even run a perk on it when they designed the new system.
What'd you say, they did another perk?
They couldn't even do a perk on it. They had to do a sieve analysis.
We talking about the same place? We did.
This is your
we
plan,
did several.
right?
We did several perks. Oh, that was Michael. Yeah, okay, Michael Burke's.
Do you have
yeah,
another
he did-
design?
Yeah, he did that. But we did a deep hole, and it was as far as the backhoe could reach,
Right.
right next to the existing septic area, and he could. There was no water at all unless he's looking for something else. They looked for something else. I was looking
What
for
would they
water
do?
to stop bubbling up.
Right, you don't see the water. Basically, what they're logging is soil modeling, okay? And modeling means that's the estimated seasonal high groundwater. That means the water has gotten there at some point in time throughout the season or during the wet season. Or it's a purged water table, meaning the water comes down, hits a denser soil, and it rides horizontally along that layer for a certain amount of time before it drops down. So the state calls that, in 1995, the state adopt that as how they want to log their groundwater table. That's why a lot of older systems pre-95 fail, is because of the groundwater table.
But that system you're looking at is 63 feet downhill.
Yep, I see
From
that,
where
and that's
the
where they did
original
their,
system is.
and that's where they did their testing. So if you don't wanna use that, if you think the soils are that much different up there, I don't know why he would have put it down there. It's gonna cost you a lot more money to put it down there, but
I wondered that myself, because, I mean, the guy's 85 years old.
yeah, I don't know if they
He's
did
just-
some testing up here and didn't hit good stuff. I mean, typically that's what they do, and they don't show it because they don't want to use that. They use the best holes that they find. But if you don't like that, basically this is what we have to use for your groundwater table. And with this, the system fails whether it's fully functioning or not. The state says if it's below that, it fails. So it's not our rule; it's a state rule. So the only way to overcome that would be to have an engineer go back up and dig one and state that your pit's not in the groundwater table. You can do that. You can definitely do that. That's your option.
Would it be less than $20,000?
To do a test hole?
If it
Yeah.
is, it'd be worth it.
Yeah,
That's what
definitely.
the system costs.
I mean, it's gonna be a few $100s. You gotta have the town witness it again. We gotta go out and look at it, have them open up the pit. They gotta verify the bottom of the pit elevation, and they gotta verify where the groundwater is and just fill out a DEP form, and it states that it's not in the groundwater table. And it's as simple as upgrading your tank, because by the sounds of it, it's not just undersized. It's technically undersized, is grandfathered in. You don't have to make it larger. But it's leaking and stuff according to the first report, so.
So if I had another deep hole done where the existing system is.
Yeah, and they basically give us, proof that your system's not in the groundwater table. They log the water wherever they find it. And again, it's witnessed through us, so they apply for an application for a deep hole, and they go back up, do a deep hole, our agent comes out and witnesses it. So if they witness that it's not in the water table, then yeah, you can pass, but that's your option. If not, you have to use this testing that's on your property. It's the most relevant.
Can I just I just wanna make sure that he understands, so even if he does the deep hole up where that present system is,
It could still fail if the water table is too high. If they still log it at 48 inches and the bottom of your pit's 6 feet, that means it's 2 feet in the water table. It still fails. So now you're out that money. But if you feel that strongly that it's not, then consult with an engineer. Ask an engineer. Just a simple phone call. I mean, ask Mike Burke if he designed this. What his thoughts? Did he do some testing up there?
Yeah,
What does
did
he
a lot
think?
of testing up there.
Yeah, what's he
They-
think?
He just said it would be an easier system to put down the hill.
Right, I mean,
This is
usually
a
you go
big field.
downhill, if it's raised, you obviously take it downhill, so that when you make a mound, it's not sticking up in the air, it's not four-sided Indian burial ground, it's just gonna look like a gentle slope down, and you only have a banking on the other side. So that's why you carry it downhill, and to keep it gravity, so you don't have to pump it up. But if he was hitting better soil with deeper water, you could still sink it in the ground up top. So we're under the assumption that he drove it down the hill to keep it with the grade, and that he didn't hit any better soils up there. There's better soils, they're a smaller system, less gravel, cheaper money, easier design. They definitely don't go with his tougher soils, so if he did some holes, ask him. See what he thinks. See if he has some testing up there.
Right. Well, I actually
Without
got
spending
that
any
whole
more
idea
money.
When I thought maybe this thing was already passed, I didn't look into it any further. Although I did hire someone to do a new septic area with the plans that you have.
Yeah,
And,
that are approved.
because, yeah, I've been sitting on this place for 3 years. I wanted it out of my life. I want it gone. You know? It's getting expensive
Yep.
to keep it.
So I mean, those are your two options, is to use it and put this system in, or to prove that you have, your groundwater is deeper up there by your system.
You know, I believe that Charlie Cutler came to one of the meetings. I think he said that, didn't he?
not,
Remember that? He said that they asked for another deep hole.
Charlie Cuppa hasn't been to a meeting in a long time.
I don't think he came.
Yeah, okay, I
But
can't find them myself.
Yeah.
He spoke to Jim Malley, our engineer at the
Right.
time.
Yeah,
So
and
I had
Jim-
Jim
yeah.
review those, and I
Right.
think that was what Jim initially said, if I recall correctly.
But Jim was there, present, when he dug that second hole.
Yeah, when he
I know,
dug the
I
holes.
waited for him till
When he
4
dug
o'clock in
these
the
holes,
afternoon.
right? When he dug these holes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
down
no,
lower.
the ones up on the hill, the ones at the existing tank. Nobody ever calls me this time of day, I even shut it off.
But so even if things work out at the old site, he still has to do work on that old site, correct?
Yeah, you still gonna have to replace your tank.
Well, it's cheaper than, no, that's not 20, 'cause I just had a tank done down in Milburn.
Yeah, like 6, so.
All right, well, my questions are answered, I got some information.
So yeah, I mean, we're
I'll
not.
work with that and see.
I mean, using this information that we have, we choose the first report, it fails. So if you wanna prove it to be non-failure, then you're just gonna have to do some more work to prove that. But just my advice to you would be to go back to Mike Burke and see if he remembers doing some testing up there. Doesn't look like he logged it, but maybe he logged it in his pencil book and he can tell you what he sees. So,
Kenny, was there also an issue with the well and the closeness of the well?
he did have a well test done.
Oh, he did.
Yeah. So it was attached to that second report, that passed, so. So you are good on that. Okay? Do you have any other questions, or?
No? No, I had no idea that I could have it re-perk like that, do the dig on.
It's
the
not
default.
perked, it's just a
Yeah,
default.
right.
Yeah, yep.
But if it passed the deep hole, then you'd still require a bigger tank.
It's not so much a bigger tank, that tank that's in there is leaking. So it's not watertight, so that it needs to be a watertight structure, and obviously you can't fix that because of the age of it, and so you'd have to replace it, so it would naturally be a 1500. That's the minimum size that you can put
Well, I mean,
in.
if I was gonna dig it up, I'd put a 1500 gallon.
Yeah, it's the minimum size you can, so,
Okay.
yeah,
Thank you.
you're
Thank you
welcome.
for coming in. Okay, any other business not anticipated?
Number 7?
I'll go for number 7. I need
Our
someone
next
to.
meeting.
Motion to adjourn,
Next
oh,
meeting.
next meeting.
We see that. I always
I
forget
know,
that.
you always rushes. So September what?
24th.
Okay.
September 24th? Okay.
Now I make a motion to adjourn?
Now you know.
A motion to adjourn?
Second.
Alright.
Adjourned. Thank you.
Good? Thank you, everybody.
We off live?